Welcome to the Coast to Coast Pick 5 preview show for Saturday, April 27th. Skip, we are just 1 week away, or just a little over 1 week away from the Kentucky Derby. Time flies, doesn't it, my friend?
Yes, it does. I can't believe it's already here. I'm looking forward to it. Should be a great Derby and great Kentucky Oaks and a great weekend, hopefully.
It should be very nice, but we will concentrate on, as usual, the Coast to Coast Pick 5 between Gulfstream and Santa Anita. 15% takeout, dollar bet. And as we know, Skip, the payout's tremendous week in and week out.
Yeah, buddy. I think it's the best bet they got going out there. I love it. I love the dollar wager, the low takeout. And, when they half a Santa Anita, half a Gulfstream, and Gulfstream with the grass races, which I love. So it pays great. It's my favorite bet. And hopefully we can hit it today or tomorrow.
Well, I know it's just the two of us, as we will say tonight, with Gino taking the week off. And next week, of course, we'll have a preview show and we'll talk a little Derby talk as well. But I know you're very excited for your Kings game tonight. Game 3, big one, tied 1-1, and you're heading off to crypto here with, I see Zenyatta in the background for good luck as soon as this is over.
She's the only one that's not happy because mommy and dad are here leaving. But as you can see, the jersey is already hanging up. I'm ready to go. I've been ready to go all day. I had a tough night of sleep, tossing and turning. I couldn't wait for the game today, and I'm so excited.
All right, we'll make this short and sweet, hopefully get some winners, and then you can be off to the Kings game because I'm sure the car's probably running in the garage already. So we start the Pick 5 off at Santa Anita tomorrow, Skip, and it's the Kona Gold Stakes. Kona Gold, one of our favorite sprinters of all time, and another horse that is becoming very well known around, especially in California, but I think around the country now. One of the best Calbreds of all time, the Chosen Vron, 4-5 on the morning line, has won 14 of 18 lifetime, 9 wins and 11 starts at Santa Anita, does everything right. It's going to be tough to beat here. Skip, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I loved its last 2 works, especially the one on the 20th. Now, this horse always works well. It's just a professional racehorse, that big chestnut with that big old stride. I've tried to beat it a couple times. And after the race, I'm like, why did I try to do that? This horse is a monster, one of the best Calbreds ever. And, what a great racehorse. I mean, Eric Kruljac has done a great job with this horse. That last race coming off the break in the San Carlos grade 3, 7 furlongs, I tried to beat it naturally. I used it, but I tried to beat it, and the horse won and made me look silly in a racehorse time of 1:20 4 for 7 furlongs. I'm not going to try to beat it today. I think it's going to get a perfect trip. I see Forbidden Kingdom going to the lead from the rail. And I think the Chosen Vron's just going to sit right off of the Forbidden Kingdom. So I'm going to single here. I might play 2 tickets. And if I do, I'll use Happy Jack on the other ticket. But my main ticket, I'm going to single Chosen Vron. If they do go head and head with the Chosen Vron and the Forbidden Kingdom, I think Happy Jack could maybe, get a good trip and maybe get him. So on my second ticket, I'm going to use Happy Jack. But the big ticket, singling.
I have nothing else to say other than exactly what you just said. I did a tip sheet for tomorrow. I think the Chosen Vron is a single. If not, my second choice, and the horse who was going to get the best trip and who worked terrific on April 13th, which you watched, I know, because you watch the works like I do, is Happy Jack. We know Forbidden Kingdom's going to send from the rail. Chosen Vron, like you said, should be just sitting right off, get a perfect trip. If for some reason they ding-dong battle, Chosen Vron just does whatever he wants. But Happy Jack's going to get the trip just in case. And we don't have much time. I got one quick story. You know this story, but one of my idiotic moments of all time was I had Happy Jack to win the Kentucky Derby in a future, and I think it was for like 30 grand. So on Kentucky Derby Day, I have like 25, 30 new people out here, and we were watching the Derby from the winner's circle at Santa Anita. and the sun was out, so we were watching on the big screen. It was kind of hard to see because of the glare, anyways. And then that, of course, is when Rich Strike wins. Rich Strike is the 21 horse. We never see those saddle cloths, right? And if you even go back and look at the photo, the jockey's foot is in the way of the 1, and the 21 looks kind of white. It's kind of a gray, right? But it looks white, and in the glare and without the foot in the way, I said to those people, I just won 30 grand. And it took me about 3 minutes, and they were all cheering and, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm like, yeah, that was the only second future I've ever hit besides Justify. You know, I was all happy, and then Happy Jack, and then I realized it was actually 21, and I lost. So yeah, I felt like a complete idiot.
I remember that story. You know, like you said, it was so hard to read the saddle cloth. And we don't see, like you said, the 21, saddle cloth much, and the jockey's foot was over. But yeah, I remember that story all too well. And I was thinking that's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw Happy Jack in today.
Yeah. I was Happy Jack for about 3 minutes. I thought I won 30 grand, and then I lost. So anyways, Chosen Bronze should be very, very tough. All right. Let's move on to the second leg, and that is race 10 at Gulfstream, 5 furlongs on the turf. What are your thoughts here?
You know, this race is wide open. I think both the Gulfstream's grass races are wide open. There's a ton of speed in here. I'm going to go like 8 or 9 deep in here. No secrets. I'm going to spread. I'm going to use the 3. Yes, I'm free. This horse comes out of the Keeneland race, a grade 2. Showed speed, got tired late, but it loves Gulfstream Park. 20 starts over the grass, 9 wins, 29 starts for the surface, 10 wins are at the distance. So the 3 is going to be on my ticket. Bomb, the 4, Warrior's Pride. This horse worked really good on 227. If you go back on XBTV, you could see it. You don't see it in the form, but that horse worked really good. And I like it. I love the price at 30-1. This horse has 3 wins over 9 starts over Gulfstream. For the distance, 10 starts, 3 wins. The trainer does very well off the break. He went to 21 or 20% with 180 days plus. So the 4 is going to be on my ticket. Full disclosure, the 5 is going to be on my ticket at 20-1. As you can see, I'm trying to make something happen here. But I really like those 2 horses for prices. I'm going to use the 7, Extendo. I'm going to use the 8, Smithwick Spice. Shortening back up, this horse likes the distance. 6 starts, 4 wins. It's a racehorse, man. This horse got 41 starts, 10 wins, 10 seconds, 14 starts over the grass, 6 wins. I'm going to use the 10. I'm going to use the 11, XY Speed, and I'm going to use the 12, Super Quest. So I'm going 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12.
All right, so quite the sped race in race 2. Obviously, we're probably starting off with about a 1-5 shot. Right. So we're going to hopefully make something happen in a couple of the other legs, and pretty much about the all button there in leg 2 for you. All right, let's move on to leg 3. That would be the 5th at Santa Anita. We're going a mile on the turf. You know, I thought this race was very interesting. I'm at least 4 deep in here. I think Tarantino for Mark Glatt coming back 3rd off the layoff. You know, Frankie Dettori jumps aboard, and I think this horse should get a nice trip, good stalking trip. Mark Glatt, you and I've talked about this horse, or Mark Glatt, I mean, over and over. What a tremendous meet he's had, and they're winning at a 29% clip together, Dettori and Glatt. So I think that's an interesting horse. Another horse I thought was interesting, even though Rispoli jumps off, is the 4 Lahaina Flavor. You know, kind of a very deep closer, but this horse ran very well into soft fractions the last time, has never been in for a tag. And I think we're going to get an elevated price because DVD ends up here and Umberto ends up elsewhere. So I'm using 3, 4. The other 2 I'm using would be the 2 Ann Merhall for Steve Knapp. We've continued to say how Steve Knapp has had a terrific year. and he's due for a few more wins. But lately, he's been hitting the board quite a bit. This horse has good tactile speed. Has won 2 out of the last 3, third off the layoff as well. And then Single Track Mind, I'm using as well. And Umberto ends up here for Jorge Gutierrez. I might use Big Hat. I guess I'm going to use Big Hat Willie as well. So I'm 5 deep in here, Skip. I don't know if you're using anybody else, but I couldn't single it down anything here.
I'm singling the 2. I really like this 2 horse. It got claimed off Peter Miller and won and got disqualified. Then they gave it a little break. Steve Knapp brought it back. It won very nicely going short, 6.5 on the flat surface. They stretched it out to a mile last time. It got beat by a nice horse of Vladimir Seren's who went wire to wire. And look at the times, Chappie. They went racehorse. They went quick early, 23-3, but then they slowed it way down, 48-2, 112-2 going a mile. And they finished up strong in 134. That horse basically got an easy lead. This horse, Abner Hall, was behind the slow pace and had a wide trip. It was 3 to 4 wide, basically the whole way around. Freysu was just sitting there, it was weird. Like the horse had run, but he just was, I guess maybe, he thought the other horses were going to come back, or the horse on the lead was going to come back. Once he swung it out for home, the horse finished nicely. It finished really well. It galloped out good, but it wasn't going to catch the winner who was on that lonely lead going a slow pace. There's not a lot of speed in this race.
Yeah.
I think this horse is going to get a good trip. Either could go wire to wire, or if a couple others want to go, I think this horse could sit second and third. I think it's going to get a great trip here, and this is one of my other singles.
Yeah, the one thing I did write on Anmer Hall is possible lone F, because you are right. There is not much speed, and I think unless somebody else comes up with some new tactics, this horse could crawl on the front end. So very interesting of a single for you there. And I think pace-wise does have a little bit of an edge. All right, let's move on to Gulfstream Park. We're going race 11. Your favorites, the maiden special weights mile on a turf. What did you find here? I'm sure you came up with some prices in this leg.
Yeah, I'm going deep in this leg. I caught a couple prices that I like, but I'm going to use the one. I see you looking. It ran really good on the grass, 2 back. They put it on the Tapeta, didn't run any good. That was bet for favoritism. I like it going back to the grass. The one's going to be on my ticket. Are you still? I lost you, buddy.
No, you're here. You're good.
Am I there? Am I there?
You're good.
Okay, I can't see you for. Hold on a minute.
You're good.
Okay.
You're all good.
I can't. Let's see. Here we go. Okay.
You're good.
Okay. I can't see you, so I'll just keep going. I'm going to put the 2 hanging in there. This horse broke on the way outside, 11 at 11 last time, and finished nicely. The 2 is going to be on my ticket. The good replay was the 3. The 3 came out of a decent race, and boy, you want to talk about a brutal trip. This horse had a brutal trip. It's 12 to 1. They gave it a little time off that. I like the last work on the 19th. That's going to be on my ticket. The 4, Kid Cairo, I like. This horse is coming. It's coming back. It ran April 5th. In that race, it was weird. The horse, look how slow they went that day, Chappie. They went 24, 49, 113, finished in 140-3, on the Tapeta. This horse is bred for the grass. I love it switching to the grass. I put, behind a slow pace. The horse went wire to wire. I said, this looked like a prep race to me. So I love the 4 Kid Cairo going to the grass. I also put It's Bourbon 30. This horse ran a sneaky good race at 50 to 1 that day. I like him. I like the price at 10 to 1. I'm going to put the Bill Mott number 6 at 15 to 1. I'm going to use Typhoon Fury. This horse is coming out of some real good races. I got to use it at 5 to 1. The other one I'm going to use is Derby Street, the other Bill Mott horse with Paco Lopez. This horse was 10 to 1. It got beat by a runaway winner, or actually not a runaway winner that day. That was the other horse. I think this horse is going to like the grass. They paid $700,000 for it. I love that Paco gets aboard. I love him switching to the grass, and I like the price at 15-1. And then the horse that worked really good on the 21st was the 12 Bell Mountain. I love this horse going to the grass, stretching out, first time Lasix. So all that being said, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, and 12. I'm Spreadsville in here.
Okay, so you're Spreadsville on both of the Gulfstream races.
Yes.
And singling on both of the early Santa Anita races. So very interesting going into the last leg. If you get a couple prices, even if Chosen Braun wins at 1-5, the way these things pay, you get 120-1. It's going to pay very nicely.
Right. And that was my thinking going in. I thought that the races at Santa Anita were easier. I had a stronger opinion. These grass races at Gulfstream Park, they are wide open.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, we're going to move on to the last leg, and then you can get on to go to the Kings game and fire up the car and ready to go. And I'll be watching you from afar on TV, Skipper. So the last leg, down the hill, race 7 at Santa Anita. We love these down the hill races. I'm kind of narrowed down to 3 horses in here, Skip. I'm going to talk about the longest of the 3 first, and that would be the 2 On the Whim. This horse has won both times on the turf for Dean Pedersen. Dean still gets overlooked sometimes. I thought the work on XBTV on April 12th was terrific. And at 6-1 with Al Segor jumping aboard, I think we're going to get a little bit of a price. I think this horse is going to run very well. There's a couple others I could use, but the other 2 I'm looking at would be the 2 outside horses then. Forgiving Spirit, the 8. JJ Hernandez jumps aboard because we know Pratt is now in New York. This horse ran second to Johnny Padres, 2 back, who came back to win a stake race. And then the outside horse, Cali Bay for D'Amato. I mean, drawn right. This horse had won 2 in a row very nicely. Hasn't ran since February, but with the outside draw, looks like all systems go there. So I'm 298 in that order. What are your thoughts in here? Anybody I missed that you're going to use?
Okay, on the big ticket that costs 288, I'm going to go 4 deep. I'm going to use the 2, like you said, going back to the grass. We gave this horse out on the radio first out as the Cowbred of the week, and it didn't disappoint us. I'm going to use Tiger Horn too. We always talk, Glatt, Dettori coming down the hill. There's nobody better than him. He's got a great win percentage, so I got to use the 4. My top play is the 7, Legislator. I love this horse. I think this horse is going to love the 6.5 down the hill. This is like a typical miler that I think will set up perfect for it. I know it's only won 1 time, which actually it's won 2 times. It got disqualified when it's broke its maiden against optional 80s. This horse I really like this horse. I love their Spoley getting aboard. I think it's going to get a great trip. And then I got to use Cali Bay also. I wanted to use Forgiving Spirit. The same owners and trainer have the 7 and 8, Legislator and Forgiving Spirit. If this horse was on the flat surface, I would use Forgiving Spirit and probably only go a couple deep in there. Coming down the hill, I don't know if this horse is going to like it as much. I know it's got a race back in April of 23 coming down the hill. It only lost by a length, but I think this is more of a 6 furlong flat turf horse. So I'm not going to use Forgiving Spirit. I'm going to use 2, 4, 7, and 9. And on my ticket where I maybe use Happy Jack, I'm going to come back and play the ticket the same way and single Legislator on a small ticket.
If you remember Legislator, when Legislator was DQ'd, that was actually he was actually a maiden going against winners and made a giant move and was way the best. Do you remember that race? And got disqualified. Yeah.
Way the best. Yeah, the jock, he was going so fast. The jock just kind of angled out because he was going to fall down. He was going to clip heels. Yes. And the horse won. It was much the best that day. And look at ever since Peter Miller's taken over from Woodbine, it won that optional 80, which broke its maiden, came back They just qualified it. So it came back in another optional 80, lost by 3/4 of a length. Then he ran behind a real slow place going a mile and an eighth at Santa Anita. He got third, beating 2 3/4. Then they put it back in the maiden race, a mile at Santa Anita, and it won in 1:34 and 1. Then they race it back at Del Mar. It loses by a nose. Last race was the only race that was bad since Peter Miller has taken over. And maybe they just, they figured maybe we'll give it a little time, freshen it up. It looks like the workout pattern's good. March 18th, March 29th, April 4th, April 11th, April 20th. I think this horse has got a big shot, and I think he's going to have a big say in here.
I am going to use that horse because I didn't remember that race until you mentioned it now. And I remember how much talent that horse had. I remember that DQ so well. And I believe that was the last race of the day, maybe not second to last, but I remember it. So yeah, I'm going to alter my ticket just a bit and throw in Legislator. And as you mentioned, Tiger Horn, we have talked so many times, Frankie Dettori, probably one of the best I've ever seen riding down the hill. And it's such an odd race. He's very aggressive down the hill, and he just fits whatever horse. He just fits the downhill course like a glove. That is for sure.
He does. You think of Frankie Dettori. I never thought like he was much of a speed rider, riding in Europe all these years. But the way that he gets a horse out, that's why he's so great. He puts the horse in position to win. And if they're good enough, they're going to win. But sometimes these jocks, they give the horse too much to do, rather than putting it in a winning position where they could just go on with it. And if they're good enough and lucky enough, they're going to win. He always seems to do that, especially, all the time, but especially coming down the hill.
He did that in a race today and stole it, and from another horse who was just too far back. And Frankie was aggressive once again, and he showed what a world-class rider he was once again. So, all right, Skipper, thanks for the time. I know you're very excited about the game tonight. We wish everybody the best of luck. Hopefully you're in a good mood tomorrow morning for the Morning Line Sports Show. And then we will see everybody else next week. We'll have a preview show and, of course, talk about the Run for the Roses, the Kentucky Derby next week. Skipper, thanks, buddy. Good luck tonight. Good luck to everybody this weekend. Thanks.
Good luck, everybody. Go Kings, go.